this is my third year as a playwright in residence at Florida Stage. At the end of my first year, Lou came to me and said, I'd like you to write the first play in what I'm calling the Florida cycle, which is where he would commission a number of plays about the state of Florida. In this particular instance, I had no idea what the play was, except that Lou wanted me to write about water, about the water issues here. So I had to just learn about the history of South Florida as the first thing. So I did a number of months of research from reading about 5 books, some that were just about the history of Florida, some that were focused once I learned that I wanted to set the first act of my play in 1928, right before the hurricane. And then I also went out to Beltway. I talked with people out there. I went on some airboat rides, and also talked with some people here in Palm Beach County at Grassy Waters Preserve. Because not only do I first have to feel like I become some kind of expert on the subject that I'm writing about, but then I have to find a way through my characters that those issues will be in the background, and I have to focus on the characters and what their day-to-day life is like. And that was a challenge as well. I know that when I realized that I felt like the 1928 hurricane, when that dike broke and caused the creation of the Herbert Hoover dike, which to me felt like that's when we were really able to build in this area in Palm Beach County, especially out in the glades, and provide permanence. When I landed on that, then it was learning about life in the 1928 and figuring out what was life like back then and what were the type of people that populated the area. Mm-hmm. And that helped to slowly narrow it down. I know, especially with the act that takes place in 1928, when I sort of discovered for myself that here I want to focus on a farmer, that was really freeing for me, because then I felt like I don't have to worry about the issues, because the issues are naturally ingrained in what he's dealing with day to day. From drought, from too much rain, from fields flooding, like that's his day-to-day survival for his family, for his livelihood, for what he wants to do. It was a challenge. I mean, I didn't have the first draft of the play until March 2010, and felt like the first act was working, and the second act had a lot of issues and challenges associated with it, not only structurally, or the fact that I made the decision that I'm jumping 80 years from the first act to the second act and having to set up these characters again, but also the fact that a second act needs to move in a different way than a first act typically. Like a 1.5-year turnaround from the very start of research to a production is a very quick turnaround in the theatrical community. You know, there's certainly benefits in the sense that there are a lot of playwrights and plays that get read and read and read, but not committed to a production. And so Florida Stage said, we believe in this play, we believe in the subject matter, they believe in me. I mean, they've given me 3 years of residency, which is both financial and artistic support. So they have a lot of faith in me that I'm very humbled and feel fortunate about. What I've come to learn is that the story is really about legacy and ownership. For myself, as I have evolved through the play, I've had to discover that. I didn't really see the theme of ownership until really towards the end of the play, because land is so central to both acts and what we're doing to the land, and the feeling that we as human beings own property, own land, whether it's something as in the play as a pocket watch or as a piece of land. It's the fact that ultimately we're here on this earth for a short amount of time in the grand scheme of things, and we can cause so much damage because we feel like we own stuff, that nature at some point will reclaim what it rightfully owns.